as you guys know, um, Chris Smalls, one of the main organizers of the Amazon walkout that happened in Staten Island, where warehouse workers walked off the job due to unsafe working conditions, Amazon fired him. And we talked about this yesterday on the show. The reason that they said they fired him was because he wasn't practicing safe social distancing. That's what they claimed. Meanwhile, their warehouse facility is completely unsafe and unsanitary. Workers have been testing positive for coronavirus, and they've done nothing about it. But he's the problem, according to the company. It's total gaslighting, totally backwards, straight up Orwellian. But that's the nonsense excuse they gave to fire this guy, because in reality, they fired him for sticking up for workers' rights and for sticking up for himself and his fellow employees, so his fellow coworkers. So, Lucy, you have to let go of the headphones. You see that? She's like, no, they're mine now. I decided I want the earbuds. You have to, she's still going. Yeah, did you see that? You saw the paw. Lucy, come on. She's a little fiery this morning because she stands with the Amazon workers. She stands with workers. She's like, Instacart, I'm standing with you. Whole Foods, I'm with you. Meow in solidarity. That's what Lucy's saying. By the way, check out Lucy's comic, LucyandRon.com. But, all right, so here's an update on all this. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio orders an investigation of Amazon's firing of strike organizer. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio said Tuesday he has ordered the city's Human Rights Commissioner to investigate Amazon's decision to fire a warehouse worker who organized a strike at its Staten Island warehouse. Amazon said it fired Christian Smalls after he received multiple warnings for violating social distancing guidelines. Okay, so Smalls claimed he was fired by Amazon in retaliation for his decision to organize the strike. Amazon said that it was because he received multiple warnings for violating social distancing guidelines. Okay, so an Amazon spokesperson told CNBC in a statement that Smalls had been ordered to remain in quarantine after he came in close contact with an associate who tested positive for the virus. Despite that instruction, this is what Amazon's saying, despite that instruction to stay home with pay, he came on site on March 30th, further putting teams at risk. This is unacceptable, and we have terminated his employment. In other words, he was organizing a strike, and we tried to shut him up. We tried to say, just take this money and stay home. We wanted to shut him up, but it wasn't enough because he was like, no, I'm not going to shut up because you're putting my coworkers in danger, and we're not going to stand for this anymore. We're not going to stand for this horrible treatment anymore. That's what that code for. They're trying to make it out like, well, we just said you can stay home with pay. Why wouldn't they do that for everyone then? I mean, listen to what they say in the article. He came in close contact with an associate who tested positive for the virus. Despite that instruction to stay home with pay, why wouldn't everybody in the warehouse be instructed to stay home with pay? If somebody has it. If somebody has it, which people have tested positive, in a warehouse where you're not even providing hand sanitizer, remember that part, they're not even providing hand sanitizer, why wouldn't everybody be ordered to stay home? In reality, Amazon tried to shut this guy up, and he said, no, we're not shutting up. Well, let's hear directly from him.
Unfortunately, we have people that were out there today with me that haven't been in that building the entire month. They're afraid for their lives. They're afraid for their family lives. And that was the reason of the whole entire movement. Just me being the voice and sticking up for those who don't have a voice. I felt it was the right thing to do. Unfortunately, it cost me my job, but I don't want to work for a company that doesn't take care of their people. And the Amazon has dropped the ball on that. So it is what it is. I'm still going to continue to fight.
What aren't they doing that you want them to be doing?
All we asked for was a simple building closure and it to be professionally sanitized. You know, we had a confirmed case and people were afraid, and that's all we were asking for. Nothing more, nothing less. We would have returned to work. They wouldn't give us that. And that's ridiculous to me. You know, we had a building a week and a half ago in Queens, New York, had the same issue. I don't see what the discrepancy is with our building, that they couldn't do the same for us. You know, there's people that's been there since the building opened, and we feel like we're not worth anything to the company. We feel like we're expendable, and it's sad to say that the company failed us. And That's all we really wanted was
Chris,
a building closure and to be sanitized.
You said you were fired. When did that happen?
Around 4:30 today in the afternoon.
So this is from yesterday.
How did that happen?
They're claiming that I violated a quarantine policy, which it's ridiculous. I'm appalled by it because I don't know what gives them medical expertise to know who's supposed to be quarantined and who's not. They claim that I came in contact with somebody that was tested positive, but the person that I sent home, which was my colleague who tested positive, I was only around her for maybe 2 to 5 minutes. And thank God I sent her home because the bosses that are still in the building, they're the ones that allowed her to come back to work. And she was a positive case. So if it wasn't for me actually returning to work on Tuesday and sending her home, she would have been there another 10-hour shift.
So in other words, Amazon is BSing here when they're saying, oh, yeah, no, he violates something. No, someone tested positive. He's the only one who did something about it. He's the only one who actually did something about it. And why did they single him out and being like, oh, well, you got a social distance? Because he was organizing and they wanted to shut him up. So that just validates what you can infer when you read Amazon's BS statement. Let's hear more about what he has to say.
And exposed to more people spreading the virus, possibly to more associates. So this was a targeted attack against me, to silence me, to silence my movement.
But was this? Do you believe this was an attack? You believe that they were firing you because you were speaking out publicly, or do
Absolutely.
you believe that had you been told not to come to work?
No, absolutely not. What happened was I've been coming to work off the clock the entire week. She testified off the clock. I wasn't paid. They're saying that I was paid. I haven't been paid yet.
Wow. Wow.
Why were you coming to work off the clock?
I was coming to work off the clock to be that bridge from my associates to management. I went there every day of the week to inform my people that they didn't do, that somebody tested positive that they directly came in contact with. So I brought my people into the general manager's office every single morning to voice their concern and try to get the building closed and sanitized. I was just being a peaceful advocate. We rallied.
Let me ask you a question about just being in the facility. And so many of us who are Amazon customers, by the way, I want to just thank everybody out there who's on the front line working, because I don't think there's enough appreciation for what everybody is doing, especially in these times. Are you given gloves, masks, any other kinds of materials that would make people feel protected? Is that available to people? What is it when you walk into the facility? What happens, for example? Social distancing, how does that work in a facility like this that's moving packages rapidly, I imagine?
It doesn't work. And that's the problem. It doesn't work. Number one, that temperature taking thing, that just was implemented yesterday. And just to piggyback off of that, the 2 cases that I've known personally, they never even had a fever. So for them to implement that, it's just a waste of time. It's another reactive, something that they're trying to say they're taking safety precaution on. It's too late for that, As far as the gloves and the PPE, just think about it. People in the medical field right now don't even have gloves and masks. What makes you think the retail company do? I don't know why they keep telling the press that we do, and they're providing that, because that is entirely not true.
So let's summarize. Amazon is saying, oh, this guy showed up when he wasn't supposed to. What was really going on, this guy was showing up because he was the only person doing anything about the fact that people were testing positive in the facility for coronavirus. So he was coming in off the clock. Amazon's claimed that he was being paid. He's saying, I wasn't paid. I believe him. I don't believe the company. So he wasn't actually paid. He's coming in to do something about the fact that people are testing positive for the coronavirus. And, for a second there, I thought that reporter was going to say, thank you, everyone on the front lines who's standing up for your rights as workers and standing up for everyone else, too, because we don't want sick people sending stuff out. For a second, I thought that was what that reporter was going to say. Didn't quite get there. Didn't quite get there. But so that's what's really going on. And Bill de Blasio is investigating this now. I don't know what's going to happen from this investigation. I don't know what kind of, I mean, they could just make the decision this person was wrongfully terminated. I don't know, what would happen then as far as action is concerned. But, thank you, Chris Smalls, for leading this fight. Thank you for being a leader in this scenario, and thank you for getting the truth out there. Chris Smalls has also been telling his story on a variety of YouTube shows as well. I know he was on Status Coup. I'm not sure where else he has been as of now, but hopefully he's spreading the word. And of course, he's got an open invitation on this show. That'd be great. I'd love to have him. I'd love to talk to him. But so there's the real story, and it's pretty mind-boggling. Well, I guess in many ways it's not surprising at all, but it's very humbling how Amazon can just get grit through their teeth and lie, and how they have these willing PR stooges who are willing to just straight up lie about what really went on, about the fact that one person was standing up for their fellow coworkers saying someone tested positive for the coronavirus and we got to do something about this. And that person was off the clock. They were unpaid, and they were trying to do something for the safety of their workplace and the safety of their coworkers. They were doing their job, by the way, looking out for their coworkers. And in return, they get smeared and misrepresented and fired. And then Amazon lies about it. It's time for a general strike. It's been time.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron.